SpongeBob, the happiest sponge under the sea, has episodes so dark they feel more like a psychological thriller than a kid's cartoon. Today, we're diving into the darkest corners of Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob is known for laughter, goofy adventures, and lighthearted fun. But hidden among the jokes are episodes that expose heartbreak, loss, and even despair. From Squidward's depression to SpongeBob's grief, some stories are shockingly emotional. In this video, we'll uncover the darkest SpongeBob episode ever, and why it still haunts fans years later. It all begins with what looks like an ordinary night at the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs locks up after a busy day and tells SpongeBob he's off to play a simple card game with his rival, Plankton. Nothing unusual until the game changes everything. For years, Mr. Krabs had humiliated Plankton, winning every hand for 15 years straight. But this time, something went horribly wrong. The next morning, SpongeBob finds Mr. Krabs sobbing uncontrollably. At first, SpongeBob fears the worst. Had Mr. Krabs lost the Krusty Krab, or even the Krabby Patty formula?
Tell me you didn't lose the Krabby Patty secret formula!
The truth is far more devastating. Mr. Krabs admits he gambled away SpongeBob himself. In a reckless bet, he staked SpongeBob's employee contract.
I lost you!
What?
And Plankton finally won. For SpongeBob, this wasn't just a job. It was his purpose, his joy, and his bond with Mr. Krabs. Suddenly, it was gone.
Mr. Krabs!
Moments later, Plankton bursts in, triumphant. He slaps a humiliating new uniform on SpongeBob and drags him to the chum bucket. Mr. Krabs clings desperately, but Plankton pries them apart with a crowbar. Then comes the twist. Plankton reveals he had been deliberately losing for years, waiting for this moment.
For 15 years I've been throwing those card games, just waiting for you to slip up.
He hadn't won the formula, but he had won the fry cook who made it valuable. Inside the chum bucket, the tone shifts from comedy to nightmare. The walls rattle with metallic clangs, strange machines hum, and the grill resembles something from a horror movie. Plankton wastes no time. He demands SpongeBob cook a Krabby Patty, threatening to rip out his brain and install it in a robot if he refuses. For a children's cartoon, the threat is shockingly dark. SpongeBob resists, his loyalty to Mr. Krabs unshaken. Across enemy lines, the two even share a heartbreaking duet, revealing the deep, almost parental bond between them. Beneath Mr. Krabs' greed lies genuine love for SpongeBob, and losing him shatters him. Meanwhile, Plankton changes tactics. Urged by Karen, he tries kindness. He repairs the kitchen, redecorates, and even builds an exact replica of the Krusty Krab to make SpongeBob feel at home. For a moment, it seems he might win him over, but the plan backfires. The replica only makes SpongeBob homesick. Each detail reminds him of the life he lost, bringing him to tears. Desperate, Plankton asks what Mr. Krabs never gave him. SpongeBob mentions fiery red shoes he always wanted. Determined, Plankton spends the day spoiling SpongeBob, running errands, cleaning, even delivering the shoes. But instead of gratitude, SpongeBob takes advantage, piling on endless demands while still refusing to cook. Plankton's patience crumbles. His kindness fails, and as his frustration boils over, he turns back to his darkest plan. If SpongeBob won't willingly make a Krabby Patty, then his brain will. Plankton's patience finally runs dry. After days of trying kindness, after bending over backwards to make SpongeBob feel at home, he realizes the truth. SpongeBob will never betray the Krusty Krab. And that's when the episode takes its darkest turn yet. With no more smiles, no more soft gestures, Plankton straps SpongeBob into a chair and unveils his sinister Plan B. The idea is chilling. Extract SpongeBob's brain and transplant it into a robotic clone, Robot Bob, programmed to cook patties on command. For a series often remembered for its bright humor, the imagery here feels more like a psychological thriller than a kid's cartoon. The procedure begins, and shockingly, Plankton actually does it. He removes SpongeBob's brain, leaving him dazed and hollow, and installs it into Robot Bob. But instead of creating the perfect fry cook, Plankton gets something far worse: defiance. Even as a robot, SpongeBob refuses. Robot Bob stares Plankton in the eye and flatly declares that he still won't make a Krabby Patty.
Response: why don't you ask me later?
What? What?
The refusal drives Plankton insane. He's trapped in a nightmare of his own making. The one thing he spent his life chasing, the formula, the taste of success, slips further away with every second. SpongeBob, even in robotic form, remains unbreakable. Meanwhile, the Krusty Krab is crumbling. Without SpongeBob behind the grill, customers stop coming. The once bustling restaurant falls silent and the bills pile up. For the first time, Mr. Krabs faces the terrifying prospect of losing everything. His greed, his pride, even his empire, all unraveling simply because SpongeBob is gone. This parallel collapse is what makes the episode so powerful. On one side, Plankton is unraveling, consumed by his obsession and crushed by failure. On the other, Mr. Krabs is falling apart, forced to confront just how much SpongeBob means to him, not as an employee, but as family. By the time Plankton realizes SpongeBob is more trouble than he's worth, it's too late. The chaos has already spread. The chum bucket is in disarray. The Krusty Krab is on life support. And SpongeBob, broken but unyielding, is caught in the middle of a war between two men who define his entire life. The darkest truth emerges here. SpongeBob isn't just a fry cook. He's the glue holding Bikini Bottom together. And without him, both empires collapse. While SpongeBob is trapped in Plankton's twisted experiment, the story shifts focus to someone fans rarely expect: Squidward. For years, he has lived in the shadow of SpongeBob's endless cheer, often seeing him as nothing more than a nuisance. But once SpongeBob disappears, Squidward is left face to face with something more unsettling than SpongeBob's laugh: silence. At first, Squidward relishes the quiet. No bubbling giggles, no constant chatter, no forced friendship. The calm seems like bliss, but soon it becomes unbearable. His clarinet solos echo through empty walls, and the absence gnaws at him like a phantom. He starts to realize that SpongeBob's relentless optimism wasn't just noise. It was the last spark of color in his otherwise gray existence. The episode takes a chilling psychological turn as Squidward's loneliness deepens. He begins wandering the streets of Bikini Bottom at night, peering into the Krusty Krab's dark windows. He even stops by the chum bucket, staring at its glowing machinery, as though hoping to catch a glimpse of the only neighbor who ever truly noticed him. This descent into isolation is presented with haunting imagery. Squidward's home becomes cluttered, his clarinet reeds rot, and even his artwork warps into grotesque versions of SpongeBob's face. The once cynical cashier transforms into a man haunted by absence, his sanity slipping grain by grain like sand through an hourglass. What makes this segment so unsettling is the cruel irony. Squidward, who wanted nothing more than SpongeBob's silence, is now destroyed by it. And as his world collapses, viewers are left with one burning question. When SpongeBob finally returns, will Squidward even be capable of recognizing him? When SpongeBob finally emerges from Plankton's experiment, he is not the same cheerful fry cook the audience remembers. His body is intact, his voice familiar, but his spirit feels altered. The once endless optimism is now restrained, tinged with a strange awareness of the fragility of joy. His laugh still rings out, but it carries a subtle weight, as if SpongeBob has glimpsed a world too dark to ever fully forget. Bikini Bottom reacts with relief, celebrating his return. Mr. Krabs fires up the grill, Patrick throws a party, and even Sandy wipes away a tear. But amid the noise, Squidward watches silently from his window. He should feel annoyed that SpongeBob is back, disturbing his peace again. Instead, he feels an unexpected surge of gratitude, a flicker of recognition that without SpongeBob's presence, his world crumbles into unbearable emptiness. The episode ends not with a clean resolution, but with lingering unease. SpongeBob walks to work the next day, smiling as usual, yet his eyes hold a quiet depth. Squidward plays his clarinet that evening, and for the first time, the sound harmonizes. Soft, melancholic, but strangely hopeful. The message is clear. Darkness doesn't vanish, but it can be endured through connection. This finale leaves viewers torn. Was it all just an experimental story gone too far? Or did SpongeBob truly undergo something life-altering in Plankton's machine? The show never confirms, and that ambiguity is exactly what keeps fans haunted by SpongeBob's darkest episode. In the end, SpongeBob's darkest episode stands as a chilling reminder that even the brightest worlds can have shadows. It's not just about one cartoon, it's about how innocence, when tested, reveals hidden truths. And that's why this episode lingers in memory long after the credits roll. If this dive into SpongeBob's hidden darkness kept you hooked, imagine what other secrets lie beneath the surface of Bikini Bottom. What do you think? Was this episode a warning or just creative experimentation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more deep dives, and stay tuned because the next story might be even darker.
Can I have my arms back?